Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, just hi, how are you? I am Noelle. I do true crime and makeup here on this channel. Do you guys hear the lawn mowing people? Every single time I try to film, there's sirens or lawn mowing people. Like, don't you know I'm trying to film a video? I am drinking some cold brew. It's really early in the morning. I like to film these videos early while the kids are still sleeping. And yeah, so let's jump into today's case. They sound like they're about to blow my house away right now with these freaking blowers. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're just gonna go on ahead and start the video because your girl just does not have time today for all of the nonsense, okay? We just don't. So I'm priming my face right now. So today's case, we are talking about Summer Wells. She is a 5-year-old girl that recently went missing. I know I've been talking about a lot of recent cases lately, but that's just been intriguing my interest lately. I will dive into some other cases, of course, in the near future, but as of right now, we are talking about Summer Wells. Now, this is still immersing. Can we talk today? This is still an active investigation as we are talking about it right now. And we're gonna talk theories and what I think happened and what investigators are thinking. And then I wanna know all about what you guys think down below at the end though. 5-year-old Summer Wells lives with her mom, Candace, her dad, Don, 3 little brothers, and her grandma, Candace too. But we're just gonna call her Grandma because, I mean, they have the same exact name, so we keep it straight. We're just gonna call Candace #1 Grandma, okay, because she is the grandma, so we're just gonna go with Grandma. Now, she has 3 older brothers, and they live on a huge, you guys, piece of land. 11 acres. They live on 11 acres of land. Like, if you guys don't know how big that is absolutely huge. It's like a whole like regional park almost. Like, it's huge. Yeah, if you guys don't know, that's a lot of freaking land. So 11 acres is what they live on in rural Tennessee, in a rural area in Tennessee. So about 6:30 a.m. Don, the dad, wakes up. That sounds so weird. Okay, we're just gonna say Don because 6:30, Don wakes up for work like every day, just like normal. He wakes up and he is like ready to go for his day. Now, Summer is 5 years old and she still sleeps with her parents because, you know, she's just a very loving little girl and she just wants to sleep with mommy and daddy, and I totally understand that. I have a 3-year-old, so I can totally see that happening. So Dawn says that she typically would sleep with them just like normal, and he woke up, he saw her, she was there. So he gets up, he gets ready for work, he leaves the house around 7-ish, and then Candace gets up. Candace wakes up around 7:30, and she was gonna take her mom to the hospital, which is Grandma that also lives with them as well. And this is all Candace's account of what happened that day. So we're just kind of going off of what Candace tells us, and then we'll talk about some other things closer to the end. But this is like what we know, and this is the account of the events that happened that day that we know of. So Candace gets up, ready, out the house to take Grandma to the doctor or the hospital to get whatever she needs done. Now, she was gonna leave the boys at home because the boys are a little bit older. Now, I mean, I know the people in the country are a little bit more, you know, laid back, a little different, but the boys aren't that old, but I guess maybe old enough to stay home by themselves. So we're not gonna focus on that too much, but yeah, so she leaves the boys at home and takes Candace takes Summer with her and Grandma to the hospital. Now, they have to wait for Grandma in the car while she's in the hospital, so that's what they do. So they have to wait for Grandma in the car while she's getting her treatment done or checkup, whatever Grandma needs, and they are just sitting in the car waiting for her to come out. They drop Grandma off around 8 a.m. or so, and they're waiting in the car. Now, while they're waiting in the car, a family friend, Hunter, calls. Now, Hunter A little background on him: he's a 14-year-old boy, and his mom used to be really good friend with Candace at some point before they had some beef and falling out, so they're no longer really friends. But Hunter is still like a really close family friend, and Candace thinks of him as like another son, and she takes him out for when she does errands or does something fun, because I guess he doesn't really get to do much according to Candace. So she takes him out, and he's like another son to Candace. So he calls and he's like, hey guys, like, what are you doing? And you know, they're like, we're waiting for grandma at the doctor. So he wanted to know if they can come on by and hang out while they're waiting. And so they go over there and they go hang out with Hunter. By the way, Hunter is 15, not 14. Candace and Summer arrive at Hunter's house about 10:30 or so, 10:30 or 11. Don't know what happened in between this time. This time is kind of unaccounted for. So if grandma got to the hospital at 8, what were they doing between 8 and 10:30? Like, that's kind of like a big chunk of time, I feel like. But I mean, Summer was seen after this, so we know that she was well, she was alive then. So grandma was ready to be picked up about 11 a.m. or so, and grandma needed a prescription picked up at Walgreens. So she was out of the hospital, she's ready, she's done, she's like, let's go. So they go to Walgreens and they fill her prescription. Waiting for the prescription, Candace also stops into the smoke shop and she buys 3 nicotine vapes. I don't really know why they mention this. I feel like it's kind of irrelevant, but I mean, it's part of the story. So she did that. They told Candace it was going to take a little bit of time to fill her prescription. So they go to the watering hole, which is like kind of close by. End up going to this place that they go kind of often called Warrior Park. Now Warrior Park, the best way I can kind of describe it is like a lake watering hole kind of situation. So it's just a place where you can swim and hang out in this lake. So that's what they do. They go on over and they go swimming while they wait on a granny's prescription. Kids are at Warrior Park just having a good old time splashing around, and about 1:30 or so they pick up the prescription and they are headed back to the house. But before that, they stop at the grocery store. Candace runs in, picks up some milk, some eggs, you know, just some little things that they need around the house or in their fridge. So they go to the little grocery store and that's what they do. Now on their way back from the grocery store, this part gets a little controversial, where Candace takes a video of Summer in the back of their car leaning on some milk, or she's actually passed out on a few little milk gallons in the back seat. Now some people are thinking at this point that Summer is already deceased, and it's just a weird video. Like, I don't know, they just took this video of Summer passed out on these milk jugs in the back seat. Now investigators do think that she is alive at this point because her lips are still really pink, so that's a sign of blood flow. I think that she's still alive in this photo, to be honest, but I mean, we don't know for sure. At 2:30 they drop off Hunter. So at 2:30 they drop off Hunter at home, and that was the last time that anyone had ever seen Summer Wells alive and well and not missing anywhere. Was about 2:30 when they dropped Hunter off. Now things get a little dicey, a little weird at this point, because like I said, this is the last time that anyone's seen Summer like alive and well. So about 3 p.m. they unload the car, they take all the groceries out, and they, you know, get it all into the house, and they are settling in from doing their errands. When they got to their house and put all the groceries away, Candace says that the grandma and Summer were planting flowers in the yard. So they were planting succulents or something out there in the yard. About 5:30, Candace goes and checks on the boys, and she thought that Summer was with the boys, and the boys told her when she came in there to check on them that Summer was downstairs playing with their toys. So then she goes, she, yells downstairs like, Summer, where are you? And Summer doesn't respond. Summer doesn't say anything. So she walks down there to check on little Summer, and she is not there at all, just gone. So then Summer goes and she is looking for her all over the house, and there's like no sign of her anywhere.
Walking us through what she said happened the day the 5-year-old went missing. Take a listen.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers, and we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight.
Now, Bly says she believes Summer was abducted. However, TBI says the circumstances surrounding her disappearance still remains unclear. More than 560 tips have come in since the 5-year-old Hawkins County girl went missing, but the investigation continues tonight.
So Candace calls Dawn and tells her, Candace, I cannot talk today. I am big struggling. I am tired, did not get enough sleep. So Candace calls Dawn at work, and she's like, I can't find Summer anywhere. And Dawn immediately calls the police and reports her missing. So Candace, after she gets off the phone with Dawn, some people think this is suspicious by her calling Dawn first to tell him that she can't find Summer. I don't really think that this is suspicious at all, because I feel like I would call my husband too, like to, I don't know, calm me down, or just, I don't know, I would be freaking out. So yes, I would call my husband too, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that that's really strange at all. And so when she calls Dawn, he like reports her missing, and then she like said that she threw the phone or something, and then she ran to her mom's house, which is Grandma's house, to call the police as well. But while she's waiting on the authorities to get there, she said she just couldn't wait, so she hops in her truck and she starts driving around looking for Summer, just to try to see if she can find her, which I would definitely do too. I would have probably done that before I even called, honestly, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know. This was really unlike Summer to go missing, because she was always just right by Candace's side like all of the time. So they immediately think that someone abducted her. They would always tell Summer that it's really dangerous in the woody area, basically because there is all kinds of animal activity. There's bears, there's all kinds of like scary stuff in that area. So Summer knew better than to run off on her own, and she's never done this before, like ever. Summer has never wandered off before, so this is just really unlike her, and they just don't know where she went. Now on July 16th, the authorities came out when they obviously called and said that they couldn't find Summer. And on July 16th, they issued a Amber Alert to help find her. So they did have like a whole search team come out and look for Summer when the parents reported her missing. Because obviously she's 5, you guys. She's only 5. So that's really serious if they can't find her. So they issue an Amber Alert. So they search for a few days after she goes missing, and they just can't find her. They did the Amber Alert, and they like had a whole search team out in the whole 11 acres trying to find Summer, and she was still nowhere to be found. There was no traces of her, like, and she was believed to be barefoot as well. So keep that in mind, that where really is she gonna go? And she's never wandered off before. So it's just really strange that they, you know, her wandering off is probably just really unlikely. And the parents automatically just went to that she was abducted and there's just no other way. So I put my lashes on because it's so hard to talk while I do that. So July 18th, Dawn starts talking to the media, like a lot. They do a lot of interviews over the next few months or the next few weeks. They do like a decent amount of interviews. I feel like they're talking to the press, which, I mean, they want the word out there, I'm sure, you know. And they are just very insistent that someone had to take her and that she didn't wander off or anything else happened to her. Now, let's talk about that for a little bit. So if she was abducted by somebody, it would be, I think, really hard. I think it would be really hard to not have noticed this at all. Like, again, you guys, they live in a very rural area of Tennessee, and yeah, I don't know, I just think it's kind of unlikely. Like, they also, I believe, have a gate to get to their house. How did you not hear or see anybody come in or come out when, you know, it's a pretty quiet area? There's not much going on in this area at all. Like, no neighbors, no anything. So it's just kind of like, how did no one see or hear a car? Like, man. So I don't know how anybody wouldn't see or hear a car rolling up, or you wouldn't see anything. You know, it's just kind of a little strange to me. I just feel like you would hear or see something, like anything. But maybe it just happened so quick. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just like reporting on my research and what I've found. I don't know. Something to me doesn't sit right when you watch the interviews. The dad also claims like he believes that she is deceased and that he will see her again in the reckoning. Like, literally was a quote from him. Like, he doesn't think that she's alive and he's gonna see her in the reckoning someday. So I don't know, take that as you will. I mean, I don't know. They're also referring to her in past tense a lot as well. Like saying she was, Summer was. And, you know, we know from other cases, not here on this channel, but I know that from other cases that a lot of the time when they refer in the past tense, it's kind of like, but I mean, again, I don't really think that this is that suspicious. Like, they might just, you know, really think she's not coming back and they haven't seen her for a while, so they're just saying was because that's just the natural thing to do. Now, these people don't come off to me like, I'm not trying to be mean or come for the parents or anything, but I'm just saying that I don't think that they come across like super calculated and really smart. But I mean, I could be wrong, looks could be deceiving, but they don't seem like cool, calculated people. Now, they do have a criminal past. Both of them do. I mean, they do have a criminal past. And some of the charges are really not good that they've been charged with in the past. The parents also believe that she was put into some trafficking or people trafficking. I don't want my video to get flagged, but you guys know what I'm talking about. People trafficking. But Dawn and Candace do have a criminal past, so let's get into that a little bit. I'm not saying just because they have a criminal past that made them like have a criminal past that this makes them guilty or be really suspicious of the whole situation with their daughter going missing. But I do think that it is important to mention because, you know, certain behaviors could warrant for some kind of pattern. So Dawn Wells has been convicted of burglary, how do you say it? Burglary, theft, and forgery, as well as domestic violence against Candace, which is the mom. Candace has also been in trouble for some domestic violence as well in her past. So they both have a little lengthy of a criminal record. And so, you know, I wanted to mention that because I do think that that's pretty important. Dawn also has a 34-year-old son that is a convicted sex offender. So that's also something to mention as well. Candace and Dawn both have kids out of their marriage by different people that don't live with them, which I think is a little interesting. Currently right now, CPS took the boys from the house, all the other boys that were living there. They deemed it to be unsafe living conditions, so that tells you something kind of right there. Now let's talk a little bit about their house, the home that Summer was living in. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or like judgy or whatever, but let's just say that the house to me is absolutely like, it's a mess. It's kind of gross looking. Looks a little bit like hoarders in my opinion. I don't know. It's just, I have OCD, so there's no way in hell that I could live in this house, but that's just me. And CPS thought the same thing and took the boys, and so the boys are no longer living in the house. And also I think the family has been receiving some death threats, which is never okay. Okay, first of all, I don't care what you think they've done, you just, no, that's not right. They shouldn't be having that, but they have been receiving some death threats, and the family, it's just not safe for the kids to be there right now is what CPS is saying. So the boys have been taken from the home and placed into state custody until further investigation goes. Now, Don in one of his interviews was saying that he doesn't wish for the person that abducted his kid would go to prison. He said that he's been, and it's never, he would never wish it on his like worst enemy. He would never wish it on anybody, which I think is, that's a little strange to me. If someone took my kid, I would want them off of this earth, okay? Like, I don't understand that. He doesn't wish that they would go to prison, so you just want him to get away with it? Like, okay, Don, a little strange. But yeah, he said he would never wish prison on anybody. So I thought that was really interesting. So Summer has been missing for a few months now, and there is literally no sign of her. There's no anything. She just like vanished, you guys. Like, no one knows anything. So if you do know anything and you live in the Tennessee Rogerville area, please contact the police. There are only like a few theories of what I think can happen and what investigators are even saying. And so let's go over some of the theories real quick on what we think could have happened to Summer. Theory 1, she wandered off into the woody area, and I don't know, an animal or living conditions got to her. I don't know. This theory to me seems like it can happen, but why was there no sign of her literally anywhere? Like, no sign, no clothes found, like no remnants of any sign of Summer at all. Summer would have had to do something that she's never done before, and I think that the lighting is too bright, bitch. So Summer would have had to do something that she's never done before by wandering off into an area that she knows can be really dangerous, because her parents were really clear that it's very dangerous in this area to wander off into. Time to set this girl real quick. Another theory is that somebody did something to Summer intentionally and then tried to cover it up. And the other theory as well is something accidentally happened to her and the parents are trying to cover it up. So those are really like the only things that I can see happening. Now, what do I think happened? I mean, I'm not an investigator, but just from doing research and stuff, I think that the parents are acting just a little sus, but I don't want to accuse them of anything because you're innocent until proven guilty. I think they could be involved, but I don't know, honestly. Like, I think that if Summer wandered off into the wilderness area, they would have found her. Like, they would have found some remnants of her, like a piece of clothing or maybe a toy, like something they would have found of her, but they have found nothing, no signs of her, and they searched for days. The theory about her getting abducted, I don't really know if I believe that either. I think that they would have heard or saw something, like somebody would have saw something. Like, the time that it would take to abduct her, it can definitely happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen, because it definitely can happen, but for them to take time and pull her in the car and no one's gonna see or say anything, I just think is a little bit sus. And they lived in such a out of nowhere area in the rural of Tennessee. Like, there's nothing out there. They have 11 acres. Like, I don't even know if, I don't think they have any neighbors. Like, what would someone be doing driving out on a secluded road? Just like, they would have to know that she lived there and had been watching her for a while to even know that there was a chance to abduct her. I'm pretty sure someone wasn't just there, right time, right place for them to take her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of a little sus, and I don't know. But all I do know is that I really hope that this little girl is found and brought home safe and sound. I really, really hope that she's out there somewhere. And if someone did take her, I really hope that she's not being harmed. You know, just thinking good thoughts. I just really hope that she's okay, and I hope we found out what happened to her. If something did happen to her that was bad, I just hope that we can bring her home, bring peace and closure to her family. If something unfortunate happened, it just breaks my heart. It really does break my heart that a 5-year-old little girl went missing. No one knows where she is. No one knows anything. No one knows absolutely anything. And I think that's crazy. Like, how did she just vanish just like that? No trace of her. And this is, like I said, a very ongoing case. So if you guys know anything at all, please don't hesitate to contact the police. Do not waste their time, though, with any nonsense. If you don't know anything, do not contact them. But if you think you know something, please contact them. We need to bring Summer home. If the parents didn't have anything to do with it, I'm so heartbroken for them. And yeah, you guys, so that's really it for this case. If you would like to leave what you think happened to Summer down below, if you know more about this case, I would love for you to let me know down in the comments. This is definitely heartbreaking. Every case we are going to talk about damn near is going to be heartbreaking. But it's just really hard when a kid goes missing. It's just always really heartbreaking. So it's just always really sad. So I just really hope that they find her. And again, just sending good vibes to the parents and hoping that we find answers soon. But if you guys like this video, not if you like the story, hit that like button if you want to support me. It helps push my videos out there. And yeah, you guys, I will see you in the next one. Until next time, bye. Also, if you guys want to see more of my life and like every day, my kids, whatever, I'm going to leave my second channel down below if you guys want to check that. I have glue. This is like a makeup artist's life right here. Just makeup, glue everywhere on the back of their hand, because that's what we use. I need to get a palette. Anyways, if you guys want to see my second channel, more about my life, whatever, I'll leave my second channel down below.